Some of y'all might not agree with what I'm getting ready to do in this video. I'm going to modify 2 of my best finds ever. Stay tuned to find out what I'm talking about. Alright, let me show you a couple quick videos of when I found these. And y'all might remember what I'm talking about here. Check this out right here.
Oh my God, check it out. I don't know what it is yet, but it looks like a ring maybe, and it looks gold. Check it out. That's awesome. That a gold ring? I'm not gonna mess with it yet. I'll wait till I get home. Man, look at that. I can't see the order it yet, but that's awesome. Awesome. I can't believe a gold. That's got to be gold. For it to hold in the water this long and be that color. It's got to be. I've been around gold too much. That's a Colonial gold ring. Alright guys, I see something in the hole here, and it's got a brass looking, but it also looks a little bit like gold. Check this out. I think that could be gold. The way it looks, brass would have a little bit of a decay on it. That is nothing but solid gold looking to me right there. Could it be a gold ring? Oh my God, I think it is. Another Colonial gold ring, even though it's just a wedding band, probably is awesome. I swear that's got to be gold. We'll test it at home. If that ain't, I would put money on that right now. That is gold. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God, this is gonna make my day right there. Awesome. All right, I got Keith over here with the reading glasses, and he's checking it out. Look at this. He says it's got
my N-E.
Oh my God, it's got some writing all on the inside of it too. You know there's got to be
mine
gold. Ever after or something?
No, mine ever thine.
T-H-I-N-E, thine.
Yeah.
And then it's got mine something. That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah,
it, man.
That's Colonial. This Colonial script. I mean, it's
old
the language of Colonials.
Oh my God, I can't believe it, Keith. I'm all psyched.
That is unbelievable.
That's awesome.
That is definitely Colonial.
Oh man, that is awesome. That's got to be gold. It's got to be.
Oh yeah. Look, I mean, that's the way it came out of the ground. Come on.
Yeah, nothing. Any kind of brass or copper will have some kind of decay on it. Look at that.
That is incredible.
That is awesome. All right.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Solid gold, Colonial gold. Y'all remember this one? This is beautiful. I still have not found out the family's the crest for that family. I still wish I could find that out, but I have not yet. But when this guy lost this, my theory is that when he lost it, that's not what it looked like, been all up like that. I want to return it to the condition it was when it was lost. And that's what we're getting ready to do. We're going to go over a friend of mine's house. He's a jeweler, been a jeweler his whole life. He's been with taking all kind of courses on it and been repairing jewelry for 30-some years. So he's really good, and that's who we're going to take this to do it. But I got this other one here too. Y'all remember me finding this. This one was actually found in salt water. Been in the water for hundreds of years, probably close to 400 years, and that's what it looked like when it came out. Solid gold. I mean, this is a real high carat gold, and it should be pretty pliable because the higher the carat gold, the more softer it is, so it should be okay on bending. But we'll talk to Jeff about that. This one was found in the ground, probably been in the ground 400 years, probably in the early 1600s. It's called a posy ring, and it's got an inscription on the inside, mine forever thine, inside of this one, which is really cool. Back in the early days, that's what they call them, posy rings. My friend Bill Dancy actually was the first one to look at it and explain to me what that was. I did not know. But anyway, we're going to go ahead, and that's not the way he lost that. Whoever lost it did not lose it looking like that. And I want to return it to the condition it was when it was lost. And I think we're going to be able to do it pretty good. All right, well, let's go ahead and get in the car, take these things over to my friend's house, and see if he can't straighten them out. We'll let him talk to us about doing it first before we actually do it and see what his opinion is. All right, let's do it. All right, we've arrived at Jeff the Jeweler's. Say hi, Jeff.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
All right, we're here, and Jeff's got this little setup right here. We're going to show him what we want to do in just a minute. But just give you a quick background. Jeff has been repairing and buying gold his entire life, over 30 years now.
That's
and
right.
and he has worked for all the best companies out there and done repair jobs for all the major jewelry companies out there. He's got tons of degrees and what's that? GCI? GIA. You know, he's certified GIA gemologist and got all kinds of degrees. I'll show a little picture of some of his degrees on the wall there. But anyway, that's all he does and all he's known what to do. So he's the man. So we're going to show him my rings right now and get him going on them. Stay tuned. Here we go. All right, Jeff, I got something for you to check out right here. I got two one-of-a-lifetime type rings, two of them. I want you to check them out right now and see what you think about them. Okay. Before we get started on them, I'm going to let Jeff do a little bit of a review of them here.
Okay.
Let's see which one you got here first.
Well, tell me a little bit of something about where you found it.
All right, that was found in an old site, about 400 years old, probably early 1600s site, because I found some other artifacts in there that were around that age. And it is, I know from doing a little bit of research, it is what's called a posy ring. And it's it doesn't have any markings in it, except it's got writing on the inside. It says, mine, M-Y-N-E, ever thine, T-H-Y-N-E. So it's like old English from back in the early 1600s, probably.
Isn't that neat? Let's see. So you found it in Hampton or Suffolk or...
Oh, we can't tell all that.
Okay. Okay, well, it's obviously gold. You can tell it's gold, and it's so old, and it hasn't changed at all. You'd figure if it was any other kind of metal, it would have tarnished, it would have oxidized in some way. Metal would have, oxygen would have had some effect on it. But you can tell this, the gold probably looks real similar to the day it was made. They didn't really have the ability to high-speed polish it. They would have polished it with a cloth back in the day and a rouge or something on the cloth. So it probably wouldn't have got a whole lot more high polished on the outside than this. The inside, the engraving, I don't know if you can see that, that's definitely the neatest part. Yeah. Where you think there'd be an I, there's a Y. So this is Old English and Old World English, where it's spelled like it sounds, as opposed to the consensus of how we spell these words.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty awesome.
And I tell you what, the jeweler that cut this in there was very good. He would make an etch mark at the top, an etch mark, and then cut a straight line from each little etch mark. And you had to be very good. So the jeweler that cut this, he wasn't just a goldsmith. He had the ability to engrave, which is very difficult. I don't hand engrave. It's a lost art.
So that is hand engraved, you think?
Yep, seeing something hand engraved, without a doubt. They wouldn't have had any kind of tool could do this. And you could tell each little hash mark that goes this way and then this way is different. They're all individual. They're all unique. And none of them match. So without a doubt, this is an old world jeweler. To find a piece of jewelry from that time period is extremely rare, just because oh man, gold was incredibly rare. You know, no telling where this gold would have came from. If this came from England or it came from the United States, assuming that's where this item ended up or it was lost, this could literally be Aztec gold. That's where the majority of gold came from at that time. They would have pulled it out of South America. It would have went all the way to England. It would have went to an expert, a goldsmith, who would have taken the piece and then recut it. So.
All right, so back then they didn't have compressed oxygen and gases to do like they do today, so they would have had to do a lot of this by hand, is what you're saying, right?
Yep, it would have. If it would have started from the original state, he would have been beating on a gold nugget that would have been big enough to beat into this shape. It would have been very difficult. He probably would have specific tools for turning a solid rock into a band like this. But
a lot of work went into that.
It probably took days. I would imagine, even with the most state-of-the-art tools of this time period, it took him days to do this. So I would imagine this was an important person, because other people wouldn't have jewelry like this.
Now, you think it's going to be any problem straightening it? I know normally you'd use a mandrel, I guess, and...
Yep, you should be able to straighten it without any problem. It seems like, I tell you what, it does seem like it's got a little tension in it. Gold, once it's been hit a few times or bent, it begins to hold tension. And you can tell this has got tension for being gold. It's so soft, it should open up a little bit, and it's not opening up. So what we'll need to do is heat it and let it cool slowly. We'll have to anneal it a little bit, and then the molecules will be released. We should be able to stretch it on a mandrel at that point without any problem. But I can tell there's quite a bit of tension on this. So wherever it was found, it was probably... All
right, well, let's go ahead and check out the second one before we get started on that. We got one more here that And I'll give you a little quick background. This one was actually found in the water. It's been underwater probably for 400 years. And that's exactly how it came out of the water.
It looked just like this.
It looked just like that. I haven't touched it.
There's almost no mistaking gold once it's an old artifact and it hasn't changed in any way. Only gold does that. Silver, no other metal could do this. It would all oxidize in some way. This doesn't show any oxidation on it at all. It's because it's a base element. That's how you know it's almost pure. It hadn't lost any of the color, any of the luster. If it was 18 karat or below, you would see a little coloration in it that is something this old, but it must be probably 20 karat or higher. And once again, I bet this was a pure nugget and this goldsmith beat it into shape. You can see some of the original shape in here where it kind of is a clue of how he made it, where he beat it against a mandrel real similar to this to beat the nugget out. But I bet there's no seam in this either, that literally this piece goes all the way around and it's not cut. They wouldn't have had the ability to solder it back together. That once it broke, you had to start over. So
wow.
For the most part, this is a real work of art. Whoever made it was very good. And it also has tension in it. So it would have to be heated and cooled slowly to feel like we could bend it out without breaking it, because the molecules are already fixed in place. This probably has to do with the age of it, that it's so old that every little time something hit it just least little bit, and if it was in the water, imagine it going back and forth in the tide, it's got a certain tension to it. That's how gold holds a diamond and doesn't lose it. It's able to hold tension once it's been hit a few times. But unfortunately, it's lost its malleability without heating it up and cooling it slowly.
Check out the face roll and tell me if you see. It's got like, I'm not sure if it's a eagle or a. We're not 100% sure what it is. Chicken, a bird, or some kind.
Let's check it out.
But check it out. See what you think about that.
At first, I think this is a signet ring. The person who wore it probably took this image and pressed it in wax. And that way, when he wrote a letter and he wanted to identify it as this is his family crest or his family image, this particular image would probably show up on breastplates, cufflinks, all sorts of stuff. This guy would have been very well-to-do and be very wealthy. But the fact that the image isn't up and down, it's in there sideways, it's almost certainly a writing tool, and it went like this, like he'd write the letter out and then he'd seal it with wax, and you'd know this came from this person. All right, let's check it out and see if we can determine what it is and how it was done. Much like the letters in the Mine Ever Thine ring, you can see where the graving tool slowly cut this image out. He took a graving tool, it looks like this, and then he put it in place and he hammered on the end of it. Little tiny shots on the end of this would cut little pieces of gold out of here. And believe it or not, he was good enough to cut that image in it. And he probably replicated this image over and over again. This jeweler might have been this family's jeweler.
Right.
He might have only worked for them, cutting that image and all sorts of things, where everybody in the family would be able to, like they'd be able to take an item, and it's almost like credit. They'd stamp their family crest on it. You know you get paid. It's got their family crest on it.
Is any good detail in there?
Yeah, I'd say it was probably a rooster. It looks like a rooster. And it could be, I think the first thing you say was it's probably an eagle, but I don't think it is. I think this is a specific bird for a specific family, that it meant something. It looks like he's holding an olive branch. So what holds an olive branch? Is this a dove possibly? Except down on the legs, it looks like the legs have talons, and that brings you back to an eagle. This could possibly be an eagle or a bird of prey, a bird that preys on other birds. And it all comes down to these talons. He took a lot of time to cut these talons in here and to cut the legs with all the little images that you'd expect to see on a bird's legs. So what kind of bird is it? These tools are circles and hatch marks, so it's real difficult to give one bird identification over another bird. But the fact that he's holding an olive branch probably means something. And the fact that this bird has talons probably means something. That maybe it is a bird of prey, but he carries like an olive branch. He's a peaceful person or a peaceful family, but I think he's probably got a military background just based on the talons and the bird's wings, and it takes it back to a bird of prey instead of, I was thinking maybe a rooster that has a feel of a rooster because you see these things up top, but these are definitely, this is an olive branch in its mouth. So what carries an olive branch? And is also a bird of prey, and I think that's probably as close as you could get to identifying this without some other clues to go by. There's some marks on the inside of this ring. You can see them right there.
Yeah, I could see them really small, but there's nothing from this country I can tell. I think it's probably some kind of foreign.
Well, I think that probably identified the jeweler, probably the purity of the metal, and I doubt that the symbol on the front probably went to the person that wore it and his family. Where these symbols on the back, this would have probably had to do with the specific jeweler that made it. That if he has a something he's known for. I mean, it's so small. The first thing is he's a phenomenal engraver because maybe this is a person. The first mark, the bigger one's a person, and why I say that is if he's proportional to the other two images, it would make sense that the first image is a standing person, and if it is, he's unusual looking and he's a fat man.
Yeah, that's what I saw it too.
All right, the second image, if it's not a chicken, then it could be a dog, but I'm thinking it's a hen or a chicken or a rooster because it shows up, and that would kind of make this a colonial era type thing.
The third one looked like a candlestick holder to me.
I can see that too. That's the top of the candle and the flame coming out of the candle, I suppose. But I tell you what, there are some images within the image. So it looks like, wow, even at 10 power, how did this guy blow that image up to make that image in the first place? Because there's hatch marks inside of each one of these images. And I'm using 10 power, and this is also rare. Been incredibly rare for this time period. They didn't have any way to polish glass to make it, a magnification tool. So how did that fellow engrave that to stamp it?
And where this was found, I just want to make a note that there was other early colonial items found, from 1600s, early 1700s in this same general area. So, I mean, reals, cobs, some spectacle buckles from early 1600s, all found in that same general area. So I know the date from
the 1600s probably.
It could be. He could have been wearing it for a little while and lost it in the 1600s.
And it could be a family item handed down.
I wish I could find the family. I've looked for a lot of people online tried to help me find it, but we have not had a success at that. All right, well, you think you can straighten that too, but you just have to anneal it before you do it, right?
Yep.
All right, well, let's get started on trying to do something with them right now. Here we go.
All right, well. All right, what we're going to do first is anneal it and let it cool slowly. Gold is the most malleable substance known to man, but even after you hammer on it and bend it into something, or it's very aged, you've got to unlock the molecules to free it up so it can take a new image again without breaking. So what we're going to do is slowly heat it up. We're going to watch it while we're doing it because we don't know what this metal is specifically. I can see it's starting to get a dull brick red. Can you see it?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, so that means the molecules are loose. I should be able to bend this now without breaking it. The other thing I was curious to see is are there any seams in this image? In order to cut this and solder it, it would have had to have been like 1800s, somewhere along in there. Geez, it might even be 1900s before we could successfully solder gold. But there's no images in this, which tells me this is probably an untouched artifact from this time period, and that no jeweler, no families had it for a while and then lost it in a recent era and had it resized. This is probably an artifact from, well, the time period you assume it's made from the 1600s, and it probably hasn't been touched all the way from that time period.
Cool.
We've lost it and refound.
Awesome.
We'll let it cool slowly. Okay, I don't think there's any heat on it anymore. All right, we're going to let it stick, and we'll do it slowly to make sure. We got to get it started. Okay.
All right, going on the mandrel. It's on the mandrel now.
Now we're going to slowly bring it up.
Boy, it's already you're doing it by hand. You're not even hitting it with nothing.
Nope, it's soft. It's soft enough, but as we hit it with a hammer, it'll become more dense. the molecules will begin to tighten back up.
Wow,
But
look
right
at
now
that.
it's almost
already
round
pretty
again.
good looking already, ain't
Yep.
it? Wow. Now what is that?
This is a soft mallet, doesn't leave any marks on its leather. This little bit of oxidation here, I can tell this is probably, like if this was pure gold, it would look like this all the way around. The little bit of oxidation tells me that it probably had a little bit of impurity in it. When you find a gold nugget, of course, even though you pulled it out of the ground and you think it's 24 karat, it has impurity in it. It might run with some copper, it might run with some silver.
Right. Wow, it's looking good. I like it, man. It looks great already. That and you really did make it softer, apparently, didn't it?
Yep, pretty close to a size 7.
Wow.
I'm going to take it off.
Oh,
We're
look at
going to
that.
spin
That's
it.
beautiful.
Do it the other way. We're going to hammer it a little bit. I don't want to take too many marks off of it because it might help us to identify where it came from.
Oh, man,
All right.
that is beautiful.
So now
Look at that.
it's fairly round.
Oh,
We're going
my
to be able
goodness,
to.
that is awesome looking.
We're going to be able to see the engraving. But now we're going to put it in a soft acid pickle called Sparix #2. And what it does is it eats the oxidation off of it and it'll return it back to...
So what kind of chemical is that now?
It's called Sparix #2. It's really a soft acid. Jewelers call it pickle. But what
Pickle,
it'll do
okay.
is it'll eat the oxidation off of it. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing with this one.
Okay.
It's also very
you
dense
anneal it
metal.
first and then...
Yep.
Okay, got it. And it's actually bent kind of down and out. It's kind of got a... Yeah, I bet a lot of repairs been made in this little cubby hole, hadn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to heat it slowly. And see, that's the trick. So that's as hot as they could have got back in the day. It's
They had no oxygen.
right. We
compressed
add
like-
oxygen to it, then we can get it up to 1,500 degrees where we can work with it. But just making it malleable so you can bend it would have been a real trick. Because it's thin in places and thick in others. And we're not positive what the elder jeweler did and how he made it. We're going to heat it real slow. We're going for a dull brick red, and then we know the molecules are released. I think that's probably as far as we want to go to begin with. We might do it one more time, but let's try to stretch
Okay.
it out.
Well, it's kind of thin. It'll cool off pretty fast with that thinness.
Yep. Let it cool slowly.
All right, cooling off nice and so. Boy, that's a beautiful ring. I love that thing. But that's not the way he lost it. When he lost it, it didn't look like that, and that's why I want to return it to its...
Where you found it, I mean, this is a colonial period ring, and I think it's English, so this could have been lost at a very important time.
yes, I agree.
1776, for example. He could have had a cannonball
It's
up his
possible,
butt.
but
You know?
yeah.
All right. And he was an important person, so
I would think so.
I would imagine
So let's get it started, huh?
we might have to anneal it again. Let's go slow. All right, we got it started. This bend here, so I'm worried about it. It looks like it has some stress.
Yeah, it was definitely bent
All
back
right.
a pretty good way.
All right, we're going to go in the other direction.
Okay.
All right, because we want the metal to come back this way. And it wants to, because it was
Good,
made that
good,
way.
awesome. Yeah, that was bent back pretty hard, that one little spot. No question about it.
All right, we're going to hammer it with a soft mallet.
That's really thin back there, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't know how thin it was now that you got it on there, really.
It's also close to a size 7. I feel like maybe we might should anneal it again to get it to, but let's see how far we can go. That's a pretty severe bend. I don't know if we're going to be able to.
Yeah, I mean, we could leave it like that probably. I mean, it's pretty close, but if you
It
think
might have had a bend to begin with. We're assuming things were straight. He might not have the ability to do this when he made it.
yeah, it did have a pretty serious bend in it.
That's right.
Underwater, it could have been like, I guess when it fell in the water, oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Man, that looks so much better now. I love it being back in its original condition.
I think it may be a better look at these stamps.
If you think we should kneel to do it, I mean,
Nah, let's just clean it up and see how it does.
oh man, look at that. Isn't that beautiful now? I love seeing that thing straight. Oh, that is beautiful. She had a pretty good bend going backwards in there, not just...
Let's put it that way. Then we'll come back to this one.
All right, back at the pickling.
Yep, we should be able to take it out there and just wipe any oxidation off of it.
We're going to leave it in its original condition. We're not going to buff it out or nothing like that. We're going to leave it just like it would have been. That's how it would have been back in the day, correct?
Yep.
You know, so we'll leave it as an original. We're not going to buff it out or do nothing like that. We'll just straighten it and straighten it only. We're not going to do any other modifications to it at all.
That's probably all you want to do to it.
Oh, man, that's beautiful. Let me check it out. Oh, that is so cool right there. That is nice. Look at that. Oh, I love it, man. Back to its original condition. I love it. Man, that's beautiful, Jeff. Good job, man. Awesome job, Jeff. I appreciate it, buddy, for it there, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Next time I got some gold, I'm going to bring it to you to sell it, buddy. I know you buy plenty of gold, so we'll take care of that. All right.
Don't forget to check out our stuff, Ancient Customs on eBay.
Oh, okay, eBay.
_custom, right?
Agent Custom. All right, I'll put a link down here on the bottom. Jeff does run across some pretty nice jewelry sometimes. He sells it on eBay. So I'll put a link down below on that. All right, sounds good. All right, thanks a lot, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Thanks again.
Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. I know I did. It's really interesting to watch a professional work and what he has to go through to do all that. And as Jeff was saying, boy, it took a lot of work back in the day to make these rings without the modern equipment we got today, for sure. Jeff did an awesome job. Straighten them out. Look at that. 2 beautiful round Colonial gold rings. I love it. That's awesome. Appreciate everybody coming along. What I'm going to do at the end of this video is put some pictures before and after they were straightened here. So check it out. Stay tuned. Keep watching to the end of it to watch these pictures. All right. Please click like, comment below, share, and subscribe to the Gigmaster. All right. Check these pictures out.